Today's video, I'm going to show you how to take the Erin Condren 2025-2026 Teacher Planner and turn it into a homeschooling planner. Now, if you watch my video on my 3 choices for homeschooling planners and talking about which one I was going for this year, you would know that I said I was actually going with the School Nest Amazon one. After getting it bound and everything, I just decided it wasn't the right fit for me, especially because one of you commented that you ordered the teacher planner. And I was like, oh man, the teacher planner, and you said it was pre-dated, and that oh my gosh, that's what I need. Because one of my biggest pet peeves is I can't stand dating an undated planner. It's too time consuming for me. It's not what I want to do. And last year, I told y'all that I loved the Erin Condren homeschool planner. That's what I used last year. I really like the quality. I like the paper quality. I just like the layout, but it wasn't dated. And I thought it was a little bit spendy. But then once I started doing the video and I got on their website and I was like, oh man, they look so good, but I still didn't want to spend money on an undated planner. When one of you commented, I jumped on there and I started looking around and ended up ordering the teacher planner. The other thing is my husband also homeschools with us, and so I let him be part of selecting. We are a Star Wars family, so this is actually the Star Wars is what really sold us, is we love having our name, our homeschool name in there. It's just like that little touch. I like it dated. And then when you showed me that it was pre-dated, I was like, yes, and you get to choose the date. So we did spend more money on a planner than I wanted, but the amount of time it saved me from the pre-dated, I was like, let's do it. Now, one thing is, it's made for teachers. So there's like bell schedules and stuff. We don't need bell schedules. And so what I'm going to show you is how I'm taking the things that I loved about the homeschool planner and how it was set up and how I'm taking those and setting them up for the teacher planner. So in this video, I'm going to walk you page by page, showing you the difference between the homeschool and the teacher edition and how I'm editing my planner, the teacher planner, to match our homeschooling plan. Let's jump on in and see how I'm modifying the teacher planner for homeschooling. Okay, so now that we've talked about like actually switching from the homeschooling planner that we used last year, so this one that was actually meant to be the homeschooling, to this year having the teacher, I'm going to show you how I've made the changes to make this one fit our homeschooling, and then I'll show you what was in the homeschooling. Okay, so one, we got the Star Wars, and then when we flip inside, I've already went through and done put post-its of things I'm going to change. So here I'll just put like our information, of course. And then in here, this is the biggest spread that I feel like is the difference. So of course it's about me, your classroom events, volunteer, classroom events, classroom resources, personal development. That's different than this one, which is, and you'll see I was testing out pens, but our family, so our family mission statement, homeschool goals, actually like our homeschool requirements, and you'll see I didn't use this page very much. Our family knows our mission, so that's in other places. Homeschool goals, we talk about those, but it didn't feel like it needed to be in here. Also, it was my first year homeschooling. We may include that this year. And then you'll see that this spread is completely just empty, where over here, it's not that different. So here we have classroom resources, professional development, events, and volunteers. So how am I changing these? One, I'm going to have our dailies, curriculums, like things that we need to do every single day. And then over here, I'm going to have our loop schedule. So just for the year, so I can quickly be like, okay, here's our dailies, here's our loop. I am going to put our goals here. And this is mostly because I'm going to talk to Riley about what her goals are. So these aren't going to be necessarily my goals for our homeschool, but this is going to be her goals. And I want to ask her, like, what do you want? I always like to ask, what do you want to learn and things, so then I can fit that in where we can. And then for professional development, I'm just going to put notes. This is where I'm going to put like anything that I think we may want to do, or if I come across a curriculum and I'm like, hey, let's maybe circle back to that, or something that I want to review next year. Oh, we thought we were going to do this, but we didn't. So just little notes here. And then our state requirements I'm going to put here. So what I'll do, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but just to show you, I have my whiteout. So all I'm going to do for each of these is come in here and I am just going to white these out. So then I can come back through here and put what I want it to say. And I'll do some washi tape or whatever. It won't be anything crazy fancy because that is not how I roll. So there. So we're just like editing this really quick. I'm going to show you. Okay. Okay, perfect. This I'm going to keep the same, and I'm just going to put Riley for this year just so we know. Once it's Riley and Bodie, I'll put both their names. School, I'll put our school, the school year. Email, I'll probably remove this. And for these, what I'll probably do for here is put our state requirements. We're in Georgia. We don't have a lot of requirements, especially we don't have to do testing or any of that until 3rd grade. So with this, I'll probably just put 180 days and then put like what we have to cover. But that's it. So quickly just edited that. And I have these where I'll know, and I'll come in and write them on each of these. Okay, so then on this one, this is a communication log. And in this one, I showed you it goes here. Now they do have this one, I will show you, but they don't have the logs in the front of the homeschool one. The logs are in the back. So with this, we go back here to trackers, and you have a curriculum resource tracker. You have, this is our reading log. So this was our reading log. That was in the back. We put all of our books, and then you have like your attendance tracker. So that's what the trackers look like in the back of the homeschool one. This one is a communication log, which they don't really have in, like this sheet right here was not in the homeschooling one. So I'm actually doing Read-Aloud. We did almost all of our books, like picture books, and then halfway through I was like, oh my gosh, we are reading way too many books to track all of them. So this year I'm just going to do Read-Aloud books instead of putting every single book that we're reading. And then I actually let them star it with what they thought the rating was. And then that's actually really good for me because I can go back and be like, okay, is there something common about the books? So I'll do the name, the date, and then this will be the star rating. So in here is where I'm going to put the star rating. So we'll just cover that up. Okay. And the name will just be the author. So I could actually, or the name of the book. So date, name of the book, and then we'll put the star rating. Okay. And then over here, instead of communication log, I'm actually going to do this for Riley's independent reading. So what is she reading and how long did she read it and all those things. So I'm going to track her independent reading in this section. So that's what those will be for. Now we get into the where it's actually dated. So this was not in the homeschool planner, and I would print these out and then I had to put them in the back, and I'm so excited about this. Now I've already done our homeschool planning overview for the year. If you want to see how I do that, go ahead and leave a comment and I'll be more than happy to show how I do that. But for us, if you watch my channel, we like to travel. And so a lot of our vacations are done by travel. Also, I know I want to be flexible. So what I usually do with this is I'm going to go through and put like our start date, which will be July 7th. And then I'm going to go put in things that I know. So like we're gone for Europe. That will go in there. Also in October, we have a week set aside for vacation. December, we have a week set aside for vacation. January is Riley's birthday. We're going to Hawaii. So we have that set aside. And then I know that we always go somewhere for Bodie's birthday as well. So like in April, I'll mark that. But for the most part, I'm just going to go through and mark what I know that we will be off of. And that's not set in stone because I do know like the second part of the year, we haven't even thought about our bucket list for next year yet for 2026 as a family. So I won't start marking off most of this until we get closer to that. But I already have these dates marked off. So I like to go in, put birthdays, things like that, see when we're going to start, when we think we're going to end, and I use erasable highlighters so nothing is permanent. But I love that this spread is in the teacher planner. That's not something in the homeschool planner. Okay, so this is the page that I showed you was in the front. And apparently previous years of the teacher planner, it was already dated. So this is what it looks like, this one. Also, just so you know, I got the minimalist design. They have a hexagon design, which actually looks more like this in terms of layout, like their boxes like this, and they're empty like this. Instead of having dates, I think the teacher planner used to have dates. Mine is a little bit more minimalist because I selected the minimalist planner. This is where I think I'm going to put themes and curriculum, by month. So I'm going to come in here and do January, February, or July, August, September, October, November, December, and then do this one and put like any themes or things that I want to hit on for those months and what curriculum or unit studies we're using. I don't know if that's how I'm going to stick, but I may try it for the first 6 months because there are times where I'm like, oh, that'd be a fun unit study. And by the time it comes around, I forget. So I think that is what I'm going to do with this one. Okay. Then one thing I love about the teacher planner, it's dated. That's the big reason I went with it. And all the tabs are already done. So it says July, where these tabs in the homeschool planner, they are blank. So it's blank. And then you have to go through and do every single month. And I will tell you, I am not someone who likes to do every single month. I hate dating planners. So that's why I went with the teacher planner, is because it's pre-dated. So then we get into here. I do really love the look of this, and it's a little bit different than the homeschool one. So let me show you monthly focus, enrichment classes, field trips, supplies, and resources. I actually like the layout of this one better. So what I'm going to do is my to-dos. This is actually where I will probably come in here, and instead of dates to remember, I'm going to mark this out. And this will actually be where we put library books for me to request from the library. So this will be our library book list that I need to get. Up here I'll put our to-dos, anything that we're going to do. I may put like our themes or what my goal is for us this month, and then put any notes right here. And then of course we have this whole section for notes, which honestly I probably won't use, but maybe. And actually I may use this one for Bodhi, because since we are incorporating him and it's very gentle, I may use this section to plan out Bodhi's month. So that could be where that goes. But right now, this is how I have it set up. I do this one better than the homeschool one. And then, of course, it's already dated, which is super nice. Nothing different about that. And you have August down here. So love that. And then in this spread, this looks a little bit different than the homeschool one. So let's look. So with this one, we have notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Okay, this spread. I actually like this spread better. I like how this looks. And so we have top priorities, then we have meetings, and then like a to-do list checker, and then we have Monday through Sunday, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going down. I like these little tabs a little bit better. So for the meetings, that will actually be library books we're using that week. I'm really bad because I order all of our library books at the beginning of the month. I'm always really bad at being like, oh wait, which books go? Because we put them in our book basket, which on what we're talking about. So I'm going to actually go through here and put, here's the library books for this week for your book basket. So that's what I'm going to use that for. Top priorities we always like to have. And then our checklist over here will be like keyboarding, because I'm not going to put that on here. It's just something that we'll have. Same with drawing. Like she does, we got a drawing book and everything. So those are things that I'm going to put over here. And then how many days a week are we going to do it? So it'll say handwriting, drawing, handwriting, drawing, that kind of stuff. Not handwriting, but typing. And then we have this. And so we do actually kind of school sometimes 6 days a week, depending on my work schedule and everything. We really got out of, hey, we're homeschoolers. We don't have to do Monday through Friday. So sometimes if I'm in a busy week, we actually will move some stuff and do it on Saturday. So it's not a big deal for us. So I like these, but I think what I'm going to do with Sunday, we rarely do homeschool on Sunday in the terms of like reading and stuff. Of course, we'll do projects, but I'm not going to look at the planner on Sunday because that's our Sunday reset day. And if you'd like to see how we do our Sunday reset, which is where I plan our homeschool, I prep all of our food, I get ready for plan out my business, all that, let me know in the comments and I can show you my Sunday reset. But here, it's usually not, like I'm not looking at our planner. So I'm going to use this column to put Bodhi's and put little check marks on what we're going to do for him that week since he's only 2. The rest of this will be focused on Riley's subjects. Now, each of these boxes, what we do is, that's why I was writing over here, to play around with this. And here, we do, how I break these up is literature, which also includes grammar because our grammar is built into our literature. So I'll put literature here. And then this one will be math. And then we have reading, spelling, handwriting. So a lot of times I'll put ELA here. History and geography, science, and the enrichments. So that's how I label these. And if you want to see a full week of how I set up my planner, like on a weekly basis, comment below weekly, and I can do that as well. So it's grammar, literature, so I'll probably just put lit, math, ELA, history and geography, science, and enrichments. And you can see that is pretty much what we had for this year too. We had ELA, these boxes were bigger, so this was handwriting, reading, literature, but the difference was that this year we're adding spelling, and we have grammar mixed in with our literature. Then we have science, math, history, geography, and enrichments. So same thing as here, but we're splitting up our literature and our handwriting, spelling, and all that. Okay, so that's how we're setting this up. And then if we go all the way back to the back, here we have student checklist. So for me, this will be attendance. I'm just going to put, we don't need any of this because for us, this is where I'll just do our attendance. And you'll see in this one, the homeschooling planner, that's why I had these tabs. They actually had attendance in here. And so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you have 4 kids, you had place for all 4 of them. 31 going down, months across. That's the same thing I'm going to do here. Is I'm going to do count 31 down and then months across. And then I just put check boxes beside of all of them. And that's just to track for our state, just to make sure that we are tracking that. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll stop right there. And then we have 13, 14. So I'll stop there. And then I probably won't use this section, honestly. I'm okay with not using sections. So I'm not going to use any of this. So for me, this is not even needed. Maybe I'll find something to do. But like I said, I'm not someone who needs to fill up my planner. So I'm good with not using every single page. And then we have these stickers. I will say that these stickers are very like homeschool school stickers. So I probably won't use many of these. But if you can see, I'm not a big sticker girl. I'm just not, because we had, okay, so just let me show you for this. Remember, we did this up front. That was our reading logs. Then we had attendance. And then in the homeschool tracker, you had expense tracker. So you could use those sheets I just showed you for expenses. I don't do my expenses in my planner. And then this was the books. I did not use this, but so these are just trackers. So those student checklists, it's the homeschooling has trackers. And then the homeschool pals or other contacts, that's not in the teacher planner, but as you can see, we didn't use that. I think most people would probably put that in their phone, not in here. These stickers are much more generic. So there's more birthday stickers, but they're very generic. But you can see, I didn't use these stickers either. So it wasn't that big a deal for me not to have those. I like these better. And there's some like to do, don't forget. These are all like IEP and that kind of stuff, so we won't need those. But these are cute. Like you can use those. To do, no school, we could use those. These are more like meetings, conference, assemblies, field trip, important testing. So like maybe important, maybe field trip I'll use. The little apples are cute. So there's definitely, and of course these work with anything, so that's not a big deal. And then you have those. So if you are a sticker person, just know these are more teacher focused. And then you have your folder, which is one of the reasons that I was missing. And then with the teacher planner, you actually get the stickers. So all of these are the stickers for the holidays. So you can go through and put on which holidays you want and which ones you don't want, which I truly appreciate. And then you have, of course, this is where I'll put my term spreadsheet that y'all have seen in other videos. That's where I'll put that so I can reference it each week. So that is just a peek into how I'm turning my Erin Condren planner into the homeschool planner. The big thing is it's pre-dated. It's so nice to have pre-dated. And then you have the back. So that's a peek inside of switching it over from a teacher planner to a homeschool planner. So now that you've seen how I'm taking the Erin Condren Teacher Planner for 2025-2026 and modifying it for our homeschooling, which one are you going to do? Are you going to order the teacher planner or are you sticking with the homeschool planner? The big determining factor for me was the dated. The pre-dated is just what sold me. That is like the one thing I can't stand is having to date a planner. So if you actually want to see how I lay out our weeks, how I do the planning and put in all of our curriculum and choices and how we manage that as two parents homeschooling, let me know in the comments. Put weekly plan and I'll create a video showing you how we actually go, and I put in everything for the week so we are organized and ready to go. And I'll see you in the next video.